Love lives here.
Here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living and Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide, we are working with the theme this year, the 2021 theme this year, of Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And it is an exciting time because we are working with this theme of timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision, and we are on an upward spiraling trajectory, this upward spiraling journey of unfoldment this year. And we have been working with timeless wisdom, we've been working with evolutionary vision, and we are now stepping this month into stepping into the unknown, stepping onto that upward spiraling path with intention. So this month we are working with the theme of stepping into the unknown. And Rochelle last week did a beautiful job talking about the winds of change. And before that we had the path, right? The unbeaten path, or the path less traveled, is what Reverend Victoria and I shared with you earlier this month. And today we're talking about a bless-itation. I mean, when I say the word bless-itation, it makes it sound like, ooh, you know, like bam, right? Bless-itation. It's kind of a funny word, and it's a word that came through visioning, actually, last year when we were visioning for the themes, when the team and I were visioning for the themes. And one of the ministers on the team, when we were talking about this divine unfoldment and how things want to unfold and how we step into the unknown, and we're at the very beginning of a journey of something new, of something exciting. We're at the beginning, and it's like, ooh, it feels like a blessing. It feels so exciting. It's like a blessing. And then there's also the, I'm not so sure about this. There's also that hesitation sometimes that we experience when we're approaching something new, when we're jumping into a new adventure, into a new endeavor. And so she called it bless-itation. It's the combination of a blessing and a hesitation, of being able to hold these two what feel like competing feelings at the same time, feeling excitement and feeling hesitant at the same time, or feeling like, oh, there's this great opportunity, but ooh, I feel a little reservation at the same time. And so she just called it a bless-itation. Good morning, Leah. So it was great to have this come through for her to share it with us, and then to share the idea and the concepts, and then for this this message to come through to be part of what it is that we are talking about this month. Because when we step into the unknown, when we are approaching and we're getting ready to start an adventure, or we're already on an adventure at the very beginning, you know, everything's new and everything's fresh and things are exciting, and it's like, wow, this is really, there's such a great opportunity, and there's such great possibility here, and wow. And, you know, there's still sometimes where there's like, you know, as Reverend Rochelle, I'm going to call her Reverend Rochelle. She's almost Reverend Rochelle, but as Rochelle was talking about last week, sometimes there's still that slight attachment to what was, or we get to take a moment to recognize that there is something that has been, that by the very nature of us moving forward is no longer, or can no longer be, or that has served us to this point, but it's an opportunity for us to let it go, to release it. And so Rochelle reminded us to take a moment to breathe and pause, and yes, go ahead and look forward, but to breathe and pause and honor and give thanks for that which already has been, for that which we perhaps are letting go of or leaving behind, just to give us that opportunity to honor and to hold sacred and to give thanks for that which has been. So if we look at a blessing, right? If we look at the blessing, we tend to, when we think of the word blessing, we tend to welcome a blessing. It's like, woohoo, welcome. Yes, come on in. Sit down. Let's have tea. Let's have coffee. Come on in. I'm excited about this blessing. I'm excited about what's going on. I'm excited about the possibilities of this new adventure, of this great blessing in my life. I'm excited about that. And so that is a really fantastic thing, is to be able to be excited about those things. And if we get overly excited, if we get overly joyful about it, or overjoyed about it, or overly excited about it, we get so excited about it that we become myopic, that we're not seeing a greater perspective, that we're not seeing other ideas, that we become so single-minded and so focused that we are missing the sights along the way, because now we have set our minds to a specific destination or to a specific goal. We have narrowed our view so that we are not available to this or something better, because now we are focused solely on this rather than being open and available to something better. So we have the opportunity, as we're experiencing the blessings, to be excited about the blessings, to get happy and joyful about the blessings, to embrace them, to embody them, to welcome them. And we also have the opportunity to stay open to, hey, I'm grateful for this blessing. And you know what? I'm open. Bring it on. I'm grateful for so much more too. I'm open and available to receiving and seeing more, to experiencing more in my life, so that we don't get so myopic, so we don't get so focused that we forget that there's other things, there's other opportunities, there's other possibilities in our life. And how exciting it is to know that, and to recognize that, and to be available and open to Spirit in that way. Conversely, if we are in this kind of paradox of like blessing and hesitation, if we look at the hesitation, if the hesitation is coming from a place of fear, or if the hesitation is coming from a place of attachment, then really what that hesitation is that hesitation is a limitation. The hesitation is a limitation. Because the hesitation is, ooh, I don't know. I'm kind of worried about that. I'm kind of fearful about that. I have some doubts. I'm kind of concerned about what may be unfolding or what may be happening. I'm not sure that this is 100% what I want to be doing, or I'm not sure that this choice is absolutely the best choice, that there's some reservation, there's some hesitation that's arising out of a fear of the unknown, or a fear that something in the past will be lost, or a fear that I'm going to have to change. Oh my gosh, heaven forbid that I have to change, right? That there's this fear that I might have to change, or that life around me is going to change. There's this fear of the unknown. There's a fear, right? We have nothing to fear. What is there to fear? If God is with us, if we know that God is all there is, and everything is the action and activity of God, then what in the heck is there to fear? Why are we fearing? What is there to fear if we know that Spirit and I, Spirit and we are one? That Spirit, the divine, always maintains and sustains its beloved creation. That means it maintains and sustains you. It maintains and sustains me. Everything is always conspiring, as the song just said, everything is always conspiring for my greatest, highest good. So what then is the fear? Other than, as Michael Beckwith says, false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. It's not the high truth. And so when we remember that the high truth is that God is all there is, that we are one with that divine, that the universe is forever maintaining and sustaining itself, forever and maintaining and sustaining its beloved creation, that everything was given in the beginning, that all God has, all that God is, already is, and is already available to us. We just need to open out a way and allow the imprisoned splendor to escape, as Browning says. To allow it to express forth from within us. It's simply a matter of remembering, recognizing that we are that, and that it is all that there is. So, the hesitation then, the fear then, comes from a sense of lack. It comes from a sense of, oh, what's the word? Separation. Right? That somehow we are feeling somewhat separate from our good, that we are feeling somewhat separate from the divine, that we have this belief in duality, that we have this belief in two, that we have this belief in otherness, that there is something that is, we're waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? That there is something working against us or conspiring against us, but nothing is conspiring against us. When we look at the word conspire, con with spire, spirit with spirit. With spirit. So the universe conspires with spirit for our greatest, highest good. If spirit is with, if we are with spirit, nothing could be against us. Nothing could be opposed to the divine unfoldment, because there is no thing other than spirit. So when we are with spirit, we conspire, we co-create for our highest good. Good morning, Patty. Great to see you. If, on the other hand, the hesitation when we are having a bless-itation, I love that, bless-itation. If, on the other hand, if the hesitation is coming from within, is coming from that still small voice within of like, hold the phone, wait a minute, take a breath. You're getting a little too excited, just take a breath. Yeah, this is good, but is there something better? So we have the opportunity to recognize that hesitation, if it's not based in fear and it's not based in attachment to what was, hesitation is a divine pause. It's a divine opportunity, which then is a blessing. So this hesitation could potentially be, or is, in fact, a blessing itself. That there's this hesitation, there is this inner wisdom, this inner guidance system that is ever accessible to us. It is the still small voice within that is forever speaking if we would just shut up long enough to listen and hear it, right? If we would just get quiet enough, get still enough to listen, there's this still small voice within us that is continually guiding and available to us. And the still small voice may in this moment be saying, hold the phone, pause a minute. Take a breath and listen. Yes, this which is before you is a blessing, and there's something more to be known here. There's something more for you to be aware of. There is something more that I wish to share with you. There's perhaps yet another direction that is available to you, that is an opportunity to you, that is a possibility to you. But I need you to just be still and listen for a moment. Pause, hesitate, and discern. Discern. And so we just take a moment and we pause in that moment with all of the excitement and all of the feeling, and that's all wonderful and great. And then we just take a pause and we check in. We go within and we inquire. Is this the path? Is this the choice? Is this the decision? Is this the highest opportunity? Is this the most beneficial possibility, for me to fulfill my vision, for me to live my highest potential, for me to be transformed through the power of love? Is this the opportunity? And then just get still and listen and allow Spirit to say, yeah, it is. Or, I've got something better for you. I have something better for you. But if we are constantly running our mind and constantly being in our monkey mind and not getting quiet and not listening and getting so caught up in the swirl and the excitement and the fantastic and the possibility and the woohoo, if we get too caught up in that, it becomes a challenge to be able to hear any kind of discernment, any kind of thing that Spirit may be also wishing to communicate in addition to the excitement. So when we come to a bless-itation, when we come to that point of bless-itation where we're feeling excited and hesitant at the same time, this is the perfect opportunity to use the tool of spiritual discernment. Good morning, Doris. Good morning, Aunt Nancy. Great to see you. That this is the perfect opportunity for spiritual discernment. And by spiritual discernment, it's very similar to the process of visioning that we talked about last week, right? Or last month, rather, that we've been talking about all along, the idea or the practice of visioning, where we go within and we open up to Spirit, we open up to the still small voice, the divine wisdom within, the Christ consciousness within. We open up and then we make an inquiry of what is the highest idea of my life? What is the highest idea for this project? What is the highest idea for our community? We open up with a very open question, and then we sit and we allow the answer to come through, and then we follow that with several other questions too that we talked about. But in the visioning process, it is an opening, and the questions are open-ended. They're wide open. Spiritual discernment is very similar, the way we use the tool of spiritual discernment. Spiritual discernment, we once again go within, we turn within, we get quiet and we get still. But the question that we ask is more narrow, is more targeted, is more clearly defined, in that we are seeking clarity, or we are seeking a specific answer. And so we turn within. And so a discerning question, a question that's in spiritual discernment is, what path do I choose here? Which choice do I make here? Which opportunity do I take here? Which position is going to serve my highest good? Not just in the material realm, but serve the highest good for the evolution, the conscious evolution of my soul. What choice here is going to serve the high idea, Spirit's high idea of my life? And then we sit and we listen for the answer, the still small voice that's ever accessible to you, that's always present within you, that divine wisdom, the Christ consciousness that is ever present within you, to answer, to allow Spirit to answer. And we can practice this spiritual discernment every day and every moment. Anytime we encounter a choice, we can continue to practice the spiritual discernment, to build the spiritual discernment practice, to build the spiritual discernment muscle, by just going to the end of your driveway as you pull out with your car, going to the end of your street. Am I going to go right, or am I going to go left today? And as long as nobody's coming barreling behind you and you have a moment to pause, knowing that you are divinely guided and inspired, that the universe, that Spirit is conspiring with you for your highest good, you can just check in and say, okay, so today, which way am I going, right or left? And allow Spirit to tell you, you know what? Turn right today. You could do it with a menu when you're out at a restaurant, when we go back out to restaurants, or when you're sitting there with a menu and having it delivered, is looking through it and just simply allowing that within you to guide you. What serves my highest today? What serves my body temple today? What serves me today? And simply allow. And in so doing, we are practicing the presence. We are continuously courting the divine. We are continuously courting that still small voice, courting that which is within us, that relationship with the divine within. And we are beginning to listen for the guidance that is ever present, so that if we do this with our small things, then when we do it with big things, it's already there, it's already present, because we have courted a relationship, we have nurtured a relationship with this higher self, with this greater intuition, with this higher idea, so that it's always there. And so when we come up to a Bless-itation, when we come up to something that is exciting, a new change in our life, a new setting our new course, stepping onto a new path, starting a new job, starting a new relationship. When we're coming back together and on June 6th, and we are preparing to come together anew in the sanctuary, we're coming together anew, then we can ask those spiritual discernment questions where we are experiencing a Bless-itation, where we are excited to be together again. We are excited to be in each other's physical presence. And at the same time, we might be having a little hesitation, a little reticence, a little reservation. We have the opportunity to practice spiritual discernment and go, okay, Spirit, what does this look like when we come together with one another again? What is serving the highest idea of Riverside Center for Spiritual Living? What is serving the highest idea for our evolution, our growth, our evolvement? What is serving that high idea of spirit, the ground of all being, of spirit expressing through this beloved community? What is that? What does it look like? Show me. Show me. Guide me in the directions. Guide me in the pathway. Allow your light to shine forth, making the crooked places straight. And in that practice of spiritual discernment, what are we doing? We are building our faith. We are increasing our faith. We are trusting and knowing and surrendering that there is just one power, one presence, one infinite eternal beingness that is fully expressing itself in, through, and as all of life, all of creation, that is maintaining and sustaining its beloved creation, that's maintaining and sustaining its beloved, which is you, which is me, which is all of us. So there can be no wrong decision. And you know what? If we don't like the decision we make, we don't like the choice that we make, guess what gets to happen? We get to choose something different. We get to choose something altogether different. I was like, okay, well, that was a really good learning experience. And that is the blessing of that particular choice, that it was a great learning experience. But you know what? Let's go over here now. Let's choose this and let's experience this. Let's experience something different. Let's choose this path and see where this path leads. Allow us to go down this train of thought, or allow us to go down this way of being and see where it leads. Because once again, we are going to be supported. We are going to be maintained. We are going to be sustained. It's all good. It's all a blessing. Because God's got this. Spirit has this. Spirit has you. Spirit has me. Spirit's got it. We've got it. But don't think that I'm saying it's like, okay, God's got it, so you know what? I'm going to go bungee jump without the harness, right? I mean, it doesn't mean that we get to go do something stupid. right? That we still have responsibility for our lives. We still have self-will. We still have self-choice. And it's up to us to continue to make our choices responsibly. But when we make our choices based on the Spirit within, based upon that which has been revealed from within, when we make those choices, the likelihood of success is far greater than if we just go off on some cockamamie scheme that we've thought up on our own. When we are intentional and conscious about the path forward and the step forward, even though we might not be able to see it, even though we are stepping into the unknown, we might not be able to see, more than a couple feet ahead of us, we have the opportunity to, as Rochelle spoke about last week, anchor in spirit. Anchor in spirit, surrender and trust that all is well. Give thanks for that which has been, and say yes to that which is. And it all happens through a practice of spiritual discernment. So this week, my beloveds, I invite you to exercise this muscle. As you are going through your day, multiple times a day, you are making decisions, you are making choices constantly. As you are going through your day, I invite you to pause and be mindful and just check in. Check in. It's like, is this serving my highest good? What is Spirit? What is my internal guidance system have to say about this choice? And just check in and allow. It's like, all right, you know what? Today I'm going to go left. Today I'm not going to have the second cup of coffee. Today I'm going to read a book. Today I'm just going to be and commune and be quiet and still. And when we are in this relationship, when we are in this communion, when we are in this conscious union, then we begin to live a life of grace. So, beloveds, we are at a point of bless-itation. A bless-itation. So won't you join me? Join me in the excitement. And join me in that heavenly pause. Peace and blessings. And so it is. So let's come together in consciousness, recognizing here and now the one power, the one presence, the one infinite, eternal, that is forever expressing itself through itself as itself. It is forever expressing itself through each and every one of us, through all of life, through all of creation, because it is all that there is. God is all that there is. Spirit is all that there is. Divine consciousness is all that there is. And it is from this that all of life is created, all of life is maintained, all of life is sustained, because it is the one life forever sustaining and maintaining itself. And so it is a life of abundance. It is a life of love. It is a life of peace. It is a life of joy. It is a life of bliss. It is a life of wholeness and perfection. It is a life of abundance. And it is a life that is forever fulfilling, forever expanding, forever expressing. It is eternal. And so I recognize that because it is all that there is, I am one with it. That the very who of who I am is the divine made manifest, is the I am an impartation and emanation of the divine presence. Because I am, I could be nothing else other than, because there is nothing else other than the divine itself. So it is the very who of who I am. I am that infinite love, that peace that passes all understanding. I am the wisdom of the ages. I am that I am. And as I know that this is true of me, recognizing that there is only one, I know that this is true of all of life, of all of creation, of each person within the sound of my voice and beyond. All the way back in time, all the way forward in time, because there is only one time, the now moment, the ever-present eternal moment, which is now. And it is good and very good. And so I speak my word for this beloved community, recognizing that every moment is an opportunity to commune with the divine. Every moment is an opportunity to check within, to go within, to make this connection, to recognize the divine, to unify with the divine, to unify our consciousness, because we are never separated from the divine. We only think that we are occasionally, but it is this unification of our consciousness, of our it's a conscious unification with and as the divine that recognizes that we too have the power and the presence, the one power, the one presence, that it uses us for the highest good because we are it, that it is expresses through and as us. And so whatever choice point that we make, whatever opportunity comes along for us, whatever possibility presents itself to us, we know that this possibility, this opportunity is an opportunity for the divine to express in, through, and as, for the highest good to express as. And so I know that there is no wrong choice. There is no wrong opportunity. I recognize that this is a blessing. Whatever this is a blessing. And we open up to so much more. This or something even greater, something even better is waiting for me as we align our consciousness with it. We open out a way. We give space for it. We become the transparency through which it expresses into this plane of existence. So I know that this beloved community is steeped in spiritual discernment. I know that this beloved community is led by visioning. I know that this beloved community makes its decisions, makes its choices, takes advantage of the opportunities that present, takes advantage of the possibilities that present through this vision and through this spiritual discernment, that we are truly spirit-led, spirit-guided, and spirit-driven. I know this about our community, and I know this about each individual life, each individual person who calls this community home. It is true, what is true of one is true of all, because there is only one. And so I give thanks for this realization. I give thanks for this recognition. I give thanks for the unification. I give thanks for the spiritual discernment. I give thanks for the high idea expressing here and now. And I simply release this word into the law, into the spiritual law that only says yes, that only knows yes, that brings forth and makes manifest the word itself. It is already done. It is already complete. There is nothing I need to do. The word has been spoken. I simply let it be. And together we affirm. And so it is. Amen.